Hey guys, thank you for stopping back by Just Piddlin Barbecue. Today we're going to do a flank steak on the ÑUKE GAUCHO grill. Stay tuned. All right guys, today we're going to do a flank steak today. And what I'm trying to achieve today is some Southwest type flavors, Mexican type flavors that you might get at a Mexican restaurant. And so those are the kind of flavors that we're going to try to get today. The first thing we need to do is marinate this flank steak, and that's what we're going to put together right now. All right, the first thing we're going to add is our liquids, and we're going to add the juice of 3 limes. And when you're going to juice limes, it really helps if you kind of press them down and roll them a little bit. It kind of starts breaking everything down in the center already. So get the juice of 3 limes in here. All right, next I'm going to add some olive oil to this lime juice. Just a couple of, maybe about a 1/4 cup, something like that. And then for an additional bit of flavor with the liquid, an ultra lime. Kind of gives that lime flavor in there. I'll find something to do with the other half of that. And now we're going in with probably a 1/4 cup of freshly chopped cilantro. I'll wash that. And then a couple shakes of ground cumin. Maybe about a teaspoon or so. Get that smokiness in there. Some fresh ground black pepper. And a little bit of Himalayan salt to go in there as well. Couple pinches. Now we're just going to give this a stir, get everything mixed together really well. The squeezed lime halves, I've just set them inside this tray as well. And now we're just going to pour this over our flank steak. Now the acidity in that beer and the lime juice is going to start breaking down that meat. The cumin, pepper, salt, all that's going to add flavor. We're going to set this in the refrigerator for about an hour, and we're going to start getting this ÑUKE up to temp. All right, while the grill's getting hot over here on the ÑUKE, we're going to start off with making a board sauce. Now it kind of sounds fancy, but a board sauce is really simple. The premise behind a board sauce is really just to chop up ingredients that you want to go along with the meat that you're cooking, leave it on the board, and then when you get through cooking your meat, you put it right on top, slice it, and those warm juices, they kind of mix with all those ingredients, kind of get the aromas flowing, and then you've got that sauce that you can mix up together with your meat, and it really looks great. It's great for a family style get together, and so that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to start with chopping up these ingredients. I'm going to start off with some cilantro, and I'm just going to chop it up, just kind of a rough chop. Again, this is kind of a home style dish, or a home style board sauce, I guess. And so you can just get away with giving everything a rough chop and just kind of mixing that up together with that. Now we're going to cut up some green onions. That's going to go together really well with it. Just the green parts. That's about all we need right there. Mix that up together with that. Then I've got an Anaheim pepper, and we're just going to leave seeds and everything in that. Give a little bit of spice, but not too much. Anaheims aren't really spicy. And that's kind of what we're going to go with that. Maybe one more. And then I've got some baby bells. Go in with that as well. some yellow, and this is where you can really make a lot of different colors, make everything bright. Maybe an orange. And we'll leave it at that. And then I've got some striped tomatoes, striped cherry tomatoes. We're just going to cut those into a couple of different pieces. The juices from the tomatoes are going to mix well with our sauce. Add a deep, rich color to it. Mix that all together. Maybe one more of those. And now some onion. I've got a red onion just for a little contrast in colors. You can pick whatever onion that you like. Cut off the top and bottom. Chop it across ways. Get the skin off. We're just going to chop these up. We'll cut both of these in half and then slice them. Again, just kind of country style. And then that's our board sauce. One other thing that we need to add. Gonna add a little salt right over the top. A little cracked black pepper right over the top. And now lastly, some good olive oil. Goes right over the top. And a little balsamic. Not too much because you don't want to overpower it with the balsamic. Now we just kind of mix it together. Mix everything together, get all the colors together. And now, let's get our flank steak on. All right, now let's season this up real quick and then we're gonna get it on the Gaucho grill. I have washed it all, washed off the marinade to get some of that cilantro off. I didn't want it to burn. And then I blotted it dry because I don't want it to steam. I want it to sear. So we're just gonna season it real basic with some salt and some black pepper. And then let's flip it over and do the other side. All right, let's get it on the Gaucho. Now once again, I love this because you can easily raise it up if you want to control your temps and lower that temp a little bit, or you can easily raise it down. We're going to get it on here now. Obviously we got some high heat on that. But to lower it back down on the fire, that's going to be about right. About 4 minutes per side, and then we're going to flip it over and get the other side. It's going to be a really quick cook. All right, the flank steak's been on there about 5 minutes. We're gonna give it a flip and then get the other side. Nice color on it. And now at this point, we're just gonna let it go. I'll be checking the internal temps with my ThermoWorks ThermoPen. And when it gets to about 130 degrees, we're gonna pull it off and then we'll get to the board sauce. All right, I put the lid down to hold some of the heat in. Now let's check the internal temp. Right in the center, we're at 135 right there. About 126 right there. Let's get right there in the middle, 132. And then we're at about 138 there. I can't hardly hold my hand over it. So I'm gonna call it done. That's gonna be about a medium and closer to the thinner end, more like a medium well, and then toward here, maybe toward a medium rare. So you kind of get to pick and choose which one you want. Let's check what we got on the other side. Nice color on the other side as well. Now, as you can see, very easily the grain is running this way. So when we slice it, we're going to slice it across the grain real thin so it stays nice and tender. So let's get it off. We're going to lay it right here on top of our board sauce. Okay, this flank steak's been resting for a couple of minutes, and now we're going to slice this thing up and see how we did. First of all, the juices from this flank steak is now incorporating itself with this board sauce, and it's going to be really nice. I'm ready to get into this and see what we got. Cutting it across the grain, obviously. A little bit at an angle. Beautiful. Nice juices running out. And I'm probably going to get me a piece right here in the middle. Just do a little taste test and see how we did. All right, so here's our flank steak. Now we're just going to kind of mix all these flavors together with the board sauce, the peppers, the onions, the juices from this flank steak, cilantro, and get it all incorporated. And right here at the end, we're going to hit it with just a touch more olive oil right over the top, and then a little more balsamic, just a touch right over the top. And that's going to be it. And that piece right there is calling my name. Peels right apart. Let's give this a try and see how we did. Get a little bit of pepper in there as well. Cheers. That's good. All right, guys, first of all, this steak is super tender. A lot of people overlook flank steak, but if you cook it the right way and cut it against the grain, it's really tender. And the flavors from the marinade all the way to this board sauce, if you've never tried a board sauce, give it a try. I think you're gonna really like it, and it's really enjoyable at the same time. Turned out really great. I'm glad that I did it this way. Give it a try, guys. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and until next time, we'll be piddling. All right, today we're going to do a flank steak on the Gaucho grill, and today what I'm trying to do is get those Southwest.